I want to thank you for tuning in. This is Buchanan Report for Monday, February 28th, 2012. I just want to kind of give an alert about a news article that came out today, and I'm just going to read a little bit of it to you, but it's definitely a cause for alarm. FEMA has put out a contract for emergency camps to house displaced citizens, and this comes to us from the Intel Hub, which is a very good source. intelhub.com, very, very good source of news and information. But here's basically what it's saying. The Federal Emergency Management Agency, also known as FEMA, is looking for contractors to construct temporary emergency camps inside the United States which can be ready for occupancy within a 72-hour period and used to house emergency responders as well as displaced citizens. Now that all sounds good, right? Let's read on. The National Responder Support Camp contract posted on the Federal Business Opportunities website calls on contractors to provide all necessary supervision, professional staff, labor support, material, supplies, and equipment as necessary to make a disaster-impacted, or to make an RSC within a disaster-impacted area anywhere within the continental United States within a 72 hours after notification. Still sounds okay. Here's where it gets interesting. The camps are primarily designed to house emergency responders, but will also be utilized to shelter displaced citizens who will be given the first opportunity for employment within the camp. If displaced citizens are given the first opportunities for employment within the camp, it sounds a little bit more than temporary to me, but let's go on. The camps will be able to service up to 2,000 people at one time. As well as natural disasters, the 72-hour camps are designed to deal with terrorist attack, national response framework activities of federal agencies, national special security events, and or any other situation where FEMA or an agency working through FEMA needs a camp. The camps will be secured with fencing and barricades that will also serve to create areas that are off limits to certain occupants. Entry to the camp will be controlled through a photo ID system for all occupants and visitors. Well, this is sounding more and more like prison. Why would you need fencing and barricades? And why would you have certain sections that certain occupants can't go? And I'm just taking this now from the intelhub.com. Again, a very, very good informational website, but it goes on to say it will have medical treatment facilities, dining facilities, mobile showers, and morale, welfare, and recreation facilities are all required as a part of the contract. FEMA's latest efforts to satisfy the demand for emergency camps represents a continuation of preparations on behalf of the federal government to prepare for civil emergencies and potential social disorder. Last December, Department of Homeland Security Chief Janet Napolitano directed ICE, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, to prepare for a mass influx of immigrants into the United States, calling for the plan to deal with the shelter and processing of large numbers of people. In 2006, Halliburton subsidiary Kellogg, Brown & Root was contracted by Homeland Security to build detention centers designed to deal with an emergency influx of immigrants inside the United States or rapid development of unspecified new programs that require a large number of people to be interned. Last year, we received a leaked memo from a state government employee detailing KBR's effort to hire subcontractors to provide services required for temporary emergency environment camps located in 5 regions of the United States, indicating that many of these camps have now been constructed and are ready for use. The construction of new detention camps inside the United States have provoked fears that the facilities could be used to intern American citizens in the aftermath of a national emergency. Rex 84, short for Readiness Exercise 1984, was established under a pretext of a mass exodus of illegal aliens crossing the Mexican-U.S. border, the same pretense used in the language in the request for services. During the Iran-Contra hearings in 1987, it was revealed that the program was a secretive scenario and drill developed by the federal government to suspend the Constitution, to declare martial law, and assign military commanders to take over state and local governments and detain large number of American citizens determined by the government to be national security threats. A provision within the National Defense Authorization Act that was signed into law by President Obama on New Year's Eve hands the government power to have American citizens arrested and detained without trial. See, that's my point. You know, if these are just displaced citizens and first responders, number one, it'd be a very temporary thing. And you would have no need for displaced citizens to be given the first opportunity for employment within the camp. Number two, the camp would not need to be secured with fencing and barricades that will also serve to create areas that are off limits to certain occupants. Entry to the camp will be controlled through a photo ID system for all occupants and visitors. That sounds to me like it's biometric. Guys, this is getting interesting, but this is FEMA's latest move. They're putting out contracts for emergency camps to displace for citizens. But more interestingly, I think the bottom of this article, intelhub.com, talks about, you know, when it reveals that about Rex 84, and it's saying during the Iran-Contra hearings in 1987, it was revealed that the program was a secretive scenario and drill developed by the federal government to suspend the Constitution, declare martial law, and assign military commanders to take over local governments and detain large numbers of American citizens determined by the government to be national security threats. We already know, as of New Year's Eve, thanks to our Muslim president, we as American citizens can now be held without trial and detained. And, well, they got to have some place to detain us, right? This has been your Buchanan Report for Monday, February 28th, 2012.